Hello and welcome to the Service Ducks podcast. Welcome back. We seem to be doing these live ones more often now, so it seems to be a lot easier for us to get this content out. But welcome. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll be talking a lot about the new stuff that's come out of Knowledge 23. Some of the really exciting new features and new trends that we're seeing coming along with AI, especially the generative AI. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a watch along today on this particular podcast episode. But before we get to that, it's been a week, I think, since we've a few weeks since we've done one of these just ourselves. But I guess I'll pass it over to you, Russ, to say what have you been doing, what you got coming up, what's happening.
Well, it has been a week since we chatted. So we had James and Francis on last time.
Thank you for them guys. Yeah.
Which to be honest, I thought went really well. Actually, I really enjoyed that conversation. This is my lunchtime, by the way, and I'm quite conscious that I'm going to be eating.
You're going to be eating.
I'm going to be eating,
right, drinking, eating, slurping. Yeah.
But I am conscious, right, that we're live on YouTube. I don't think the LinkedIn one's working. I put something on LinkedIn because this is quite impromptu, right? We decided to do this live about 20 minutes ago. We're live on YouTube. I'm not sure I've got it live on LinkedIn at the minute, you know.
Yeah, so, I mean they've got the link presumably to your channel to come over in
well, let me have a dig about. This is it's not live TV, is it? But this is this is live. So let's see if I can just get it working quickly whilst I talk. Do a bit of multitasking. I don't think I'm capable of doing that, but we'll give it a go.
Or if not, I can give my update if you want to.
No. So, I'll tell you what I have been doing actually. Let me just okay. Let me put that in saving settings. Right, come on, LinkedIn, come on. You can
come join us.
You well, no. It says go live now. Stream analytics, health. Go to your broadcast when you click go live. I don't know. It's not working. Right.
It's fine.
What have I been doing? Do you know what? Really exciting, actually. I forgot to tell you about this. So I did a YouTube video on Service Nerd channel last year about Now Create. And I was invited by ServiceNow themselves the other week to get involved in a celebration event, right? Excuse me, I'm still eating.
All right, just finish your mouthful, man.
So they had a celebration event because Now Create has now had 1 million download of assets, right? So if you haven't been on Now Create, it's where you can get like success packs and you get loads of assets like workshop templates, integration templates, operational guides, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Really
but they've now got 1 million downloads. So they had an internal celebration event and invited me along to kind of share with them how I use it on a day-to-day basis, or in my day job, should I say.
Yeah.
And also kind of what are my wish list items? What do I want to see in there in the future? It was do you know what? I for me, it went really well. There was about, I don't know, 200, 300 people. I don't know. It was a Zoom call.
Yeah.
And it went really well, I think. Everyone was quite they seemed quite chatty, enthusiastic on the chat. And it was quite nice to see what was coming up with Now Create. And it was quite nice to see that my wish list items in what I think would be cool is pretty much on there, to be honest. So
that's good.
Nice
that's a good sign.
We're all on the same page.
Now Create's always been a really helpful place to go to for starter stories. I think from my perspective, it's always a good place to go with, presentation packs and what sort of things you should be covering in your kind of project, the different activities, which is always really good. So no, it's really good that they're getting people involved with it as well to share their feedback and get them involved in the roadmap and what's coming up. So yeah, that's a really good opportunity then. That
I thought so. The other slightly non-ServiceNow Oh, hang on. The on slightly ServiceNow, non-related ServiceNow stuff. I did do my half marathon a few weeks ago.
Oh, yep.
Went pretty badly. To be honest, it was good to do it. It was good. I know it was good to do it, and it was fun. But it went pretty badly, to be fair. And you know what I learned from it? The big takeaway. I still beat myself from a year ago, right? So I still beat my time that I did a year ago. But I walked away from that half marathon that I trained for, not heavily trained for, but I had trained for it for a bit. But I walked away a bit disappointed, a bit dejected, a bit miserable about life. And thinking, what's the point? Why do I bother? I'm not as good as, and that's the key, right? And then because I did it with a few buddies of mine, and I walked through it, and I was like, I'm not as good as my mates, and and these guys have been semi-pro footballers back in their youth. And I walked away kind of comparing myself to other people, and I got to be honest, it wasn't a great week for me because I was a bit miserable.
Yeah.
But
I know running is a mental game.
Well, it's a mental game, but I've come away thinking, I know, and I've known for many, many years, don't compare yourself to other people, right? I know that. That's the what does it say? The mother of all evil comparison. And I kind of shook myself up at the weekend, and I went for a really nice run. I told you about it, didn't I? Down by the canal path.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let's just remember why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm never going to be an elite athlete. I'm doing this to enjoy it. So I found the love again on Sunday after going through a week of misery. Found the love again and thought, well,
the problem is, it's very hard to not get drawn into the nerdy side of running, in terms of chasing stats and chasing PBs, and that's almost what kind of keeps you going and trying to understand your body and how you can perform better, like the next time and the next time. And sometimes things just go wrong and it puts you back, and you have to do that kind of reset. So it's it's about finding that happy balance, I think, between chasing these kind of goals and putting yourself through hell, but whilst also trying to enjoy it.
I know.
Just taking your watch off. I think, like you said to me, just not wearing your watch, still tracking, but not wearing your watch, where you're checking it all the time, and just enjoying your surroundings is definitely something I'm trying to find that balance as well.
I know. So anyway, I'm conscious. I'm also trying to do stuff because I'm trying to get us live on LinkedIn. It's not working. I'm gonna give up. I'll put a comment on there. So if you're on LinkedIn right now, you can't hear us anyway. It doesn't really matter.
I'm saying get over to ServiceNow YouTube channel, but
I'll put a link to the video on the video thing. Anyway, waffle. What have you been doing? Talk to us.
Yes, so my week's been obviously very similar. I very much enjoyed the live stream from Knowledge 2023. We'll edit that bit out. But no, it was fantastic. Yes.
We're live. We can't edit it out.
Just let me know. No, what? Well, for the podcast recording, then I guess.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that.
But no, that was fantastic to get to know what was happening at Knowledge 23 from them two guys. So thank you again to Francis and James for joining us. But no, what's been happening in my life? So I've got a couple of interesting stories. So also I had a half marathon, as we probably shared with our listeners and watchers over the last few months. That both led up to this half marathon. Also didn't go very well, but again, similar situation in terms of, you try and prepare as much as you can, but things happen on the day. It was way too hot. But my claim to fame is the fact that Mo Farah finished a couple of minutes just after me, albeit he was doing a 10K and it did start 2 hours later than me. So, if I was a little bit slower, he would have been passing me just going to the finish line. So I was wondering, why wasn't the announcer shouting my name saying, "Oh, here's James crossing the line," and he's done so well. But no, the camera's just focused on Mo right behind me.
Do you know what? When you and I did a run together back in March, didn't we? Right. And one of the best things I've ever heard was the commentator. It sounds like a professional event. It wasn't really, right?
Yeah.
It was good fun. But the commentator, when you were running across the line, was like, "James Downs here, coming in full effect."
Yeah.
You were kind of,
Just after a big uphill section,
if that's
just want
full
to
effect.
finish. Yeah. But no, so running, obviously running will continue. I'm sure I'm going to book in some more 10Ks, but at the moment half marathons are way off my radar.
Yeah,
So it's yeah, just try and enjoy running again, a bit like you.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So,
Other than that, there's one other story I want to tell you, because in our little intro to our service ducks, and this is something I haven't told you yet. In our intro, right at the end, it says, "And things when they don't quite go so well."
yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those moments this week, and I'm happy to share it. And it was a complete, should we call it balls up, right? A complete noob moment. And I'm
Yes.
sure we've all kind of been there, but maybe not all want to share it. But I'm happy
Yes.
to share my balls up.
We like this. We like this.
Right. So,
What is this the same balls up as us trying to go live on LinkedIn that's not working right now?
it's a bigger balls up.
Go on then.
So I was building a custom scoped app for a customer.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we've all been in that situation, maybe not necessarily through Studio, but where you're building your tables out, and sometimes, you want to just remove the data, clean it up to rerun certain scheduled jobs and things like that. Anyway, what I had done is I wanted to remove a many-to-many table, which I was no longer wanting. I built it a different way. And in the period of trying to remove one of those tables, I actually deleted one of the other main tables, which I had referenced in scripts in multiple areas. So I've deleted a table, even though it came up saying, "Are you sure you want to delete?" Everyone knows that little box that comes up. Type in delete if you want to delete.
Oh no.
Delete. So I deleted one of our main tables, which I couldn't get back. Which took me put me a good few hours behind, but it was one of those moments, 5 seconds afterwards, you're like, panic mode, brown trousers. Do you know what I mean? You're like, what have I just done?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, what did you do though? You obviously had to recreate everything manually, right?
Yeah, I had to recreate it all again, but thankfully, because of my architect hat on, I documented everything beforehand in terms of a design. So that included a full database design. So I knew what to recall everything and what to rename the fields as. And
do you know what? I think it's is it a maturity thing, or I'm arguing with myself. So I did the same as you, right? And I'd urge everyone to do the same. Is design first. What's the whole a failure to plan is a plan to fail? I'm full of all this kind of crap.
Yeah.
But I do that as well, right? And it surprises me that a lot of people don't. And I'm not sure it's a maturity thing in terms of age or skill set. I don't know what it is, but
maybe it's something that you've been burnt once before, so then you almost kind of take these preventative steps automatically out of habit. Yeah,
it must be based on learning, I'm sure, because come on, let's face it, right? Who wants to sit there and create documentation? No one. No, I think there's very, very few people that enjoy doing it. I'm actually one of them. I actually do quite enjoy it. But you get to the point where you think, right, let's do the designing bit first and then crack on. But it surprises me that that sometimes doesn't happen. Anyway, so we are here. I'm just conscious of time. We said, and I think you said on your intro, we're going to talk about. I can't actually say the word, I don't think. So what are we talking about? Gen AI, right?
Gen AI, yep. Generative AI. Different to just, your standard search chatbot sort of thing.
Let me try and say it.
ServiceNow to generate stuff.
Right. Because I can't say qualitative either.
Qualitative.
Right, okay.
Generative.
Generative AI. Right. Anyway, we're going to talk about that because it was on Knowledge 23. Francis and James mentioned it. It's been on LinkedIn, people talking about different use cases for HR and ITSM and all this kind of funky stuff. The keynote sessions and other videos are starting to go up on ServiceNow site and YouTube. And what we thought we'd do, I think what we said we'd do when we planned this meticulously 15 minutes ago,
Yeah.
is we decided we'd bring up and kind of almost do a watch along with the Gen AI snippet from the keynote.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
So I will let me find it, man.
Are you going to do the sharing or?
I'll do the sharing. Why not? Why not? Let me find it first, though. Let me find it first. I did have it, and then everything's happened in my life that prevents me from doing anything.
Just while you're doing that,
Oh,
I'll just say to all others, like kind of listening in, just while we're getting that up, is those wasn't able to attend Knowledge 23, but like us two, still not jealous, but there is a digital experience portal that you can go to then register and then rewatch some of these kind of keynotes and the the important kind of sessions back. Just check, because us as partners, it was absolutely free to sign up and listen to. I'm sure it was it free of charge for yourself as well, Russ?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So it should be absolutely free for you to go back and watch them.
I was in. Let me see. Right. Okay. So let's do. Which one is it? Oh,
This
no.
particular clip's on YouTube, I think so.
Yeah. So let me just find the right one. I think I've loaded it twice now. Right. Okay. So it's create a workflow, share audio. That one. This is like a Teams meeting at work, isn't it? Give us a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Right. Let me just. I'm just going to play it. Just make sure we can hear the audio. Can you hear it, James? Hang on.
Because I'm a developer and I want to show you how Gen AI.
Yes, I can. Yeah, it's very low.
Okay.
And really increase efficiency,
Try that.
Productivity for all of our developers, and we're really excited about it. I actually lead the engineering team here.
Okay, just make sure. Let me just make sure we're actually sharing this, right?
Yeah, we're sharing.
And you can hear.
And I can hear. It was quite low, the volume still.
Okay, yeah, but if I put it up higher, you can't hear me, right?
Oh no, you still come across a lot higher than the.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do that then. I'm not sure how I can turn that up anymore.
That's fine.
We'll go with it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think what we'll do is we'll go through, and I'm just making sure we're actually live on YouTube. We are. I've done that before. We'll go through, and I'll stop at certain points, and I'm going to fast forward. So we're not going to watch the whole thing. It's 13 minutes long, but we'll go through and just pick out bits, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. At ServiceNow, and we can't be more excited to bring this to our customer base. So I want to show you how this works. Up on the screen here, I'm a developer. I'm in a code editor, and I can now use natural language to interact with our own ServiceNow domain-specific generative AI model. So a common question might be to ask to validate an email. And you can see here, it's interpreting the question that I have, and it's going to come back with ideally a high quality code response that answers.
I'm just going to pause there for a sec, right? So just if you're listening and not watching the video, he's got a business rule up, and he's put in 2 comment lines and typed in validate email using regex.
Yeah.
First it took quite a while to kind of register what it's doing there. It had a little in progress thing.
10 to 15 seconds, yeah.
God, you were counting.
And it was, what if you just wanted to do a comment? It's going to instantly just come up with stuff anyway.
That is, I wonder whether there's going to be like there must be like a switch on, switch off, because what it's done is he typed in validate email using regex, and then it kind of thought about it for a bit, and then it's popped up some code which is using regex and add error message and all that kind of lovely stuff.
Yeah.
So this
like
is
the old macros. Do you remember the old macros? Like
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah,
I was about to say the same thing. It's like macros, but a bit cleverer.
Yeah.
So let's carry on. Let's carry on.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Answers this question. And you can see here, I didn't have to type any code, and it's a pretty sophisticated piece of code that it just generated in terms of just validating an email. That saved me a lot of time. And I'm going to give you another.
But it's like, I've read this funny quip once, is the amount of times I've used regex is the amount of times I've had to learn regex. Yes. So there's some pretty complex regex here. Is it correct or not?
just completely random
Another
language.
example here.
Yep.
As a developer, as you're programming, our model is just sitting here waiting to give you code responses
Yeah, see, I like
to the
that.
questions that you're typing in.
Yeah. So again, he's done another example again, comment lines and then query incident. That's the only thing he's put, query incident. And it's come up with a glide record, kind of standard glide record query using GR. Let's just move it on because I don't think he's going to leave it here.
Again, I'm not writing any
No.
code. Here, all I'm asking is a few simple questions, and it's dynamically generating really high quality code that I can use in my application. And I'm going to go ahead and just accept this here. And what you just
see
saw
that.
was me.
Just to explain that to our podcast listeners as well, query incidents older than 2 years. Now, I don't know about you, and I'm sure you might have done some kind of videos on Service Nerd about using kind of like date ranges and using glide date time and figuring out all that sort of stuff with time zones and whatever else. I can see this being extremely helpful for working with those kind of like date time sort of scripts. Like,
yeah,
so, now,
you know what I tend to do? I tend to go and do the query on like a list and then copy it.
query.
Copy query and then see what they've done there.
Use it in encoded query. Yeah.
But I think when this, because this was, again, I'll just reiterate, this, what we're watching at the minute is a snippet from a keynote or a session at Knowledge, 23 last week. And at the time, there was a bit of hubbub. That's a British saying, isn't it?
That's very British, yeah.
There's a bit of noise around the quality of the code that it was writing. So, you know, I mean, we could look at this and say, well, it's declaring GR as a variable.
Yeah.
It's while there's no if has next in there. GR short scripts, you could have get value instead. There's loads of things, not loads, but there's a few things you could pick apart with it, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I'm seeing beyond that. That to me, yes, I think there's improvements to be made. Absolutely. But it's like, I guess it's like a junior dev. They've got improvements to make as well. It doesn't mean to say you can't train them in a way that they learn best practice, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same concept for me. It's more for me what journey this is going to go on now.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? It's like query incidents older than 2 years. I've started using. I'll tell you in a sec. Let's just keep playing.
Using really simple natural language to generate code on ServiceNow's platform using our own LLM, our own generative AI model. And what I want to say is I'm really excited about the power of this technology. I think it's going to open up developing on the platform to millions of new developers. They're going to onboard faster. They're all going to be more productive. And ultimately, that's going to drive innovation and
he's not as bouncy as Bill, is he?
Not only
no, Bill's proper charismatic. But there's 2 points I want to pick up on. So the first one I was going to say before, I've started using Microsoft Dictate a lot more. So if you don't know that, it's the Windows and the H button. And you can just talk to it. And then if you put it in something like Notion, I use Notion for note taking. You can just literally get it to paraphrase or bullet point what you've just said, right? Awesome. So I'd love to get to a point where instead of me typing, who wants to use their fingers anymore? All the kids nowadays do voice notes, right? I'd love to get into a point where the codes, I've got my business rule and I just say to it, hey, run a query on this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Just literally speak to it. Yeah.
And I guess you could do that if I use Dictate alongside, you know what I mean? // and then talk through that. But the other thing I just want to pick up on what this guy's saying, and it's perhaps bad because we should know who it is. I can't remember his name. But when he mentions it's going to allow millions of developers, what niggles me slightly is that you've got this Rise Up program, right? Which is all about, at the minute, they've brought 400,000 people into the industry since they started Rise Up.
Yeah, certified, yeah.
And they want to get and they want to reach 1 million by the end of 2024.
Yeah.
So that's quite fast. And with this Gen AI, I mean, there's going to be developments over the course of that time, but ServiceNow very much throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. So we'll throw something, it's like Flow Designer. Let's throw it, not necessarily complete, and then improve it over time. What my concern is, if you've got people new into the industry and can't spot things like you're using GR as a variable, before it can be trained, are we teaching them bad best practices before it gets better? Does that make sense?
I think it's a really good point, and I think it will. I think they've always said it's kind of like this marry of two things of automation and human interaction in terms of finding the best answer. But you're right. If all these people are new starters and they're starting to rely on this to create all the code, you're going to have a lot of bad code and a lot of bad stuff in the system that's not according to best practice. So I think, there's got to be some kind of governance step around using generative AI, I think is what's come out of this.
But is that just like another wave? It's like like it goes in waves, doesn't it? It's like you have waves of projects in terms of, in 12 months' time, will we be doing a wave of improvement implementation projects that are fixing stuff that people did 12 months ago? You see what I mean? It's like you have everyone jumped on it and said, we'll have ITSM. And then about 2 years later, you had improvement ITSM because it wasn't doing the best practice, or you had all these accelerators that everyone thought was great. And
if it's in the same conversation as like citizen developers and them just giving them access to be able to develop their own apps, but perhaps that's not being done in the best way or best. This is definitely a governance kind of container around it that's needed. But let's kick on, I guess.
Let's keep going.
ServiceNow, but for all of our customers as well.
Atera is the IT painkiller.
Right, I'm just going to put on mute while the advert goes. I haven't got premium. YouTube advert, right? Okay. All right, let's see.
She seems a bit more upbeat.
See this exciting launch of generative AI working live inside of our products. The team just did a fantastic job with that.
Enthusiastic.
And then I have the privilege of showing you the future. So, what is the future of ServiceNow and generative AI? Simply put, Gen AI, as you've seen, makes our platform better than ever.
It's a generic statement.
Now Assist will accelerate everything that people need to do with our platform. Developers will leverage Now Assist to build applications faster on our platform and also customize our out-of-the-box experiences. Admins will deliver faster time to value, shipping products quickly to get into the hands.
God, there's some management speak there.
Customer support, like you just saw, will be empathetic and personalized. And employees will have incredible experiences, including creating brand new applications with no code at all. Now Assist is going to help every single person who touches our platform.
Doubt it.
So the first thing, every customer needs to do with our products is customize these out-of-the-box experiences with some light configuration. They need to tailor the experience with their very own workflows. So Eric is a developer at our global coffee retailer called Coffee Corner, and he builds digital solutions.
It's interesting that the went first thing the person would be was customizing. You notice that? So it wasn't first thing. Let's go and try and develop no code stuff. It's interesting to see what their psyche is in terms of what they're trying to achieve from it.
Yeah.
Like what are they really pushing? Are they really pushing customization, or are they pushing, do you know what I mean, configuration and that sort of thing?
But the other thing I noticed, I'm just going to pause it for a second. The other thing I noticed with the previous section around the code and this, so this is the lady's picking different personas and then showing how Now Assist, which is effectively this little chat botty thing that's in the top right hand side by your user icon, right? That's what we're seeing on screen here. It's interesting that this definitely isn't a live demo.
No,
because we can see the woman presenting. The one before, he was stood in front of a laptop.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced it was a live demo, though.
No, I don't think so either. Why would you take that chance anyway?
That's what I mean. He was stood in front of the laptop. He was stood in front of the laptop.
I know, pressing play.
Like he was typing, There's no way he was typing.
No, he was in Notepad.
Yeah. He was getting his Uber Eats order in for later. Right, let's crack on. Let's crack on.
Creates a priority 1 incident. Now Assist quickly generates 3 different options for Eric to choose from. He can even shorten the time frame shown in the chart just using this chat interface. So when he finds the one that he likes, he can go ahead and he can drag and drop it right onto the application.
That's
Ooh,
nice.
that's nice.
The
That
next
is
thing
nice.
he needs to do is create one of those tailored workflows that I talked about. So he wants the team to be notified by email every time these P1 incidents happen. So now Assist can create that flow for him, and it can also take him to Flow Designer where he can take a look at it. So Eric can see Now Assist build the flow for him, creating that email notification right here for those tier 2 agents,
So
just like he described.
This is not, so I'll tell you what my thoughts are. So this is interesting. So she's typing in the guy or the persona's typing in the little chatbotty thing, and it's creating a gauge, a report, which you can then put on some kind of workspace. And then he's saying, well, I want to do something, do some logic where it appears that it's created this flow designer flow in the background with all the actions on based on that one sentence.
Yeah.
That's a good summary. How are they going to charge for this? What's their cost model going to be?
Yeah, that came into my mind this morning, whether they almost push this as a premium thing, a bit like maybe like performance analytics, or whether it's an enterprise, feature rather than standard.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to keep pressing. I'm going to just press play, let it keep running with the sound off, and we'll just pick bits out. But that's an interesting one, is how they're going to. I mean, there's the post message. That's an integration. That's a spoke into Teams.
Yeah.
So does that mean you have to pay for Gen AI plus the spokes and the integration hub packages? Well, that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, with UI Builder, which we're kind of seeing is in the kind of background in Creator Studio, I love the fact how much easier that's making UI Builder, because it's one of my biggest gripes is, trying to configure UI Builder with the different kind of widgets and lists and things like that.
What's going on here? This is another ad.
Ads.
Don't want that.
Yeah. So completely for that.
It's going to be an interesting one how they charge for it. Whether it's like, I guess it's almost like I don't know. I think they'll be giving some packages away for free because they want you to get a flavor for it. It's like a deal.
Yeah.
Right? They want you to get a flavor and then buy more.
Once you got a taste, you're like, yeah.
What's this next one then?
So this is for admins.
Oh.
So Now Assist, when it starts to help him out, it starts to recommend that he run the automatic test framework to ensure that this app runs really well across the instance. And now you'll see, leveraging our workflow engine, Nick not only gets help on how to do this, he can kick it off right here in the conversational experience.
Okay. So
Now Assist gets it.
This is about, I've done something, now guide me through making it better or more robust, right?
Yeah. What's the next
step?
Yeah.
Now they're typing in run an automated test framework.
Thing is it gathering all the data that is currently there, then making some kind of decision like, oh, I've realized that you've already done this. Is it smart enough? That's what I want to know. To say, oh, you've already configured this. You need to do the next step.
This is interesting because the keynote speech, I listened to it this morning, and it was chatter about, what's going on here? Some stuff, some kind of pop-up.
Generated notifications, yeah.
But it was a chatter about domain-specific learning.
Right.
So not necessarily going out to the, I've got to choose my words loosely here, but not necessarily going out to the internet to learn perhaps bad stuff, but domain-specific learning on the AI. But that is going to drive home even more so the keep it out of the box ethos, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start straying, oh look, there's a little party thing.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start straying from outside the box, you're going to lose some of this capability of what we're seeing.
Yeah, that's a great shout. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Let's keep moving.
One more example that we're really excited about. We've seen how Now Assist can help developers and admins. And we've also seen how it helps the agent experience. I'm going to show you how Now Assist can help everyone using our platform. We can see how every employee can easily create apps with no code at all using Now Assist. So employees frequently need ways to digitize their team's workflows, but usually they have to go to IT, make a request, and frequently IT teams are just swamped. They can't support the demand. Hillary's a brand manager at Coffee Corner, and she needs a way to manage inbound requests from salespeople and executives who want a corporate branded headshot. So right now she does not have an easy way to manage this, and she can't schedule all the requests herself, and she's handling it in spreadsheets, and frankly, things are falling through the cracks. So let's see how she solves that problem with Now Assist.
Standard issue.
So Hillary goes to her beautiful Employee Center homepage here, and she's recently completed a little bit of training, so she's familiar with this new product called Creator Studio, and she knows that she can build applications on the Employee Center.
Creator Studio.
She doesn't quite remember how to get started.
Is that what it was?
So she goes to the Now Assist search box
new.
right here at the top of her page.
Is that what this? Let me just pause. Is that what this interface we're looking at? Creator Studio.
Well, she mentioned Employee Center.
Okay. Oh, here we go. What's that? You have access to create. We can easily build your. Oh, okay.
So this is Employee Center, and it looks like the search bar is now a AI search, which is taken her to the new Creator Studio. It looks like new Creator Studio area, which I'm guessing is similar to the App Engine Studio, or maybe a replacement.
Yeah. Did you hear any noise around when this is coming out? Have you heard anything around?
No. Well, what there is a Now Assist for Search plugin.
Oh, really?
Yes, which is available in the ServiceNow store, which I have requested. And I think they're just managing the requests at the moment, so I'm not sure.
I can imagine it'll be flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Now Assist gets to work creating.
Did that just say headshot request?
And Hillary uses the form
that means something different somewhere else.
Yeah.
And she can continue to refine it right here in the conversation. So she goes in and she says, I'd like to have an additional form field added.
You know what I think is really interesting as well, right? The other key thing is that the demos that I've seen recently are deliberately moving away from AI from IT stuff.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah. It's not a case of like a new starter in IT, that sort of thing, and it's other things. It's coffee shop, it's sports, it's insurance, it's something else. Yeah,
it's exciting, and that kind of that goes into. Let me just pause because she's talking quite quick, but that kind of ties in with something Bill said in his keynote around IT is the business strategy, right? So we're all kind of working together for that, right? Let's carry on because I'm conscious of time.
She'll go through the options, and then she decides she likes the one best with the camera. That one's a little too generic, and there's the camera. So she can add that
images
to the form, and
always
it's
been there,
great to her.
behind
so
the.
She can go ahead and preview what it looks like
heading.
on the Coffee Corner portal website. Looks awesome.
It looks smart.
And then she can also check and see how it looks on mobile. Scales beautifully, looks great there. And while she's doing that, she sees that Now Assist has also generated a workspace for her. This is where she goes and she can manage all the inbound requests that she's going to get. So she goes ahead.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's really good.
She previews her workspace.
Just say that I could do with a someone to manage this, and then boom, here's a workspace. Showing calendars, requests.
A bit of smoke and mirrors, though. It's not going to be that fast. My instance doesn't run that fast.
Well, I was just looking at the timing. You see there in the Now Assist, 3:48, and it's still in the same minute in the creating of the workspace.
I don't know, man. It looks impressive. It does look impressive. I'm not downplaying it. It's just, there is a bit of smoke.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So the power of the platform now has been extended by Hillary using Now Assist to build her first no-code application end to end.
I think I don't know. It's exciting times. I think it's exciting times, and again, something Bill said in his keynote, I picked out on it is in the next 18 months, we're going to see more growth or maturity in this technology than we have done for a long time.
Yeah, it's like a whole new wave, a whole new way of working. Yeah,
it's exciting times. It's exciting times, and I think I'm trying to learn. Oh God, you can see what I listen to. ServiceNow podcast. Listen to
or your Ellie Goulding.
I did actually. I had Ellie Goulding on the playlist this morning. Who's your go-to listening to when you're actually doing work? Stick something in the. There are no comments. No, there are. We're on YouTube. Yeah, stick something in the comments.
Yes.
But it's exciting, man. I just try and learn about as much as I can, and we've discussed about where we learn from before. And I picked up a lot of stuff that's going on in LinkedIn, and obviously from our chats as well. And that's why we decided to do this kind of watch along, because I'm hoping if people are watching or listening to this at a later date, they can understand that we're all going through this together, right? No one is a master, or we're not masters in this area. We're all learning together at the same rate, right? And it's just interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, actually, I was going to give a shout out there. If anyone, when we do these and we're live, if anyone wants to just jump on the call and have a chat and be live with us, then feel free
share
to
your thoughts and
stick something in the comments, and we'll just have a chat. There's nothing. I'm hoping it doesn't come across, but there's nothing formal about our chats. We just turn up and just talk about stuff, right?
We have our lunch. We
have our lunch. Yeah, it goes well sometimes. Sometimes
bring your lunch, bring your sandwiches.
But yeah, I don't know. It's exciting. I don't think there's anything to be scared of. I think it's a journey.
Yeah.
And I just need to, for me, I just need to absorb as much as I can, as quick as I can.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to influence us outside ServiceNow as well. I mean, I've got same as you. I've got kids in primary school age, and they're going to be growing up with this. So I need to, for me, I need to get ahead of that curve and understand it, so I can educate them in the right way. That's where I'm coming at it from.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? We'll talk to me. I'm conscious. I'm getting excited. You can tell I'm getting excited because I move about.
You know what? And that's exactly how I felt like after watching that video. I thought, oh wow, that's going to make my life a lot easier. Me as a pro coder, and knowing that
hang on. Let's just talk about that statement. Pro coder.
Right, let's ignore the fact that I deleted a really important table and lost several hours of my life. And a few pairs of trousers.
Can I just say, I would consider myself pro coder as well. However, I do remember that one time when you and I were working on something.
I know what you're going to say.
For half the day, I couldn't get a client script working.
Yep.
And instead of writing G_form, I had copied and pasted from another bit of script that said G_from.
Yes.
And for half the day, I couldn't figure out what was going on until you popped your head over my shoulder and went, yeah, why have you put from there? I was like, no.
Hence, speak to your duck.
Yeah, speak to your duck.
Before you go deleting tables, speak to your duck. Before you start doing client scripts. Before you start accepting generative AI scripts.
I did interject there. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and I was just going to say, as someone who does do coding and gets it right from time to time, it's going to make me faster. I think that's the main thing I got from it. All that kind of times where you get those kind of head scratching moments where you go through you put a post recently on LinkedIn about where do you store your code snippets.
Oh yeah.
And it's like sometimes you have to go sprawling through some of your code or what someone else has done, or you're looking through the community forums, you're looking here, there, everywhere, docs, API docs, to just think of some code. Whereas that kind of thinking power is then gone. It's like, boom, here's an example. I've used ChatGPT so many times in the last 6 months where I just wanted an example of something. Or it could be like something in JavaScript where, my talent runs out. So it's like, a for loop, or doing some interesting things with arrays and objects where I can't just instantly think of those things and write them down. Whereas you could just say, I want to do this. And you have to think of it as it's giving you back an example. So then you need to ratify it and then make it into best practice. It's like, at least you're going to get some kind of working example. But then in the future, like you say, it's going to be better and better. It's going to come up with things that's going to understand you a lot better in terms of what you want from it, and it's going to give you a best practice example with not GR and using bad
Yeah.
coding.
I mean, that's the hope, isn't it? That's the hope. And I think the one thing for me, it just triggered me when you said it there. But I spend a lot of my days like you doing designs and documentation and sitting in meetings and kind of guiding and steering and all that kind of stuff. And helping out less experienced, less old people, let's be fair. I'm getting on a bit.
The Ute.
and I got excited this week because I had to write or tweak a fix script. And I got really excited because, like, yes, I get to code something.
Yeah.
I get to do some stuff. And I don't want to lose that, if you know what I mean. So I absolutely want to embrace Gen AI. But I will still want to manually handcraft code regardless, because there's nothing better than writing a bit of code and it works.
Well,
first time.
Let's rephrase that. It goes wrong about 10 times. Trial and error. Put it in your log statements, and then you get it working.
but surely it's that process that keeps us all here, right? Wouldn't it be boring if everything just worked and it was simple?
I know. I think I agree with you. It's that good feeling of getting something of designing something and building something. You're like, hey, I've spent so much time in this and it works. It's going to be great for you. But I think this is going to bring a completely different kind of thinking.
It will. Can you imagine talking to your kids? What do you do today, Dad? Well, I just typed a sentence in a little box and
that's it. I chatted to a box and he created something for me.
Oh no, we joke. We're excited. Right. We're 45 minutes in now. People have obviously switched off, got bored, and fallen asleep. Let's wrap it up. Go on. You can do the honors. You've introed us. You can do the honors. Yeah,
no worries. So we've obviously talked about how bad Russ and myself are at half marathons. So we've learned about that. But we've talked about some really massive developments in terms of what's come out of Knowledge 23 with generative AI. Obviously, we've walked and watched the video that's come from the sessions from Knowledge 23.
We'll put a link in the thing.
Yes. Yeah, we'll put a link in where you can go watch those keynotes and watch that particular YouTube clip back. I think what's going to be interesting is where we go from there in terms of, yes, maybe there's going to be plugins available. I guess watch this space. Like I say, there is a plugin there which you can request for the search part, but not the generative AI part. But I hope you enjoyed. There's a lot that's going to come from this. It's exciting. I guess we just all can't wait to get our hands on it.
That's it.
Yeah. So I guess that leaves us for us to say. I'm going to start it this time. I've been James.
I've been Russ.
And this has been the Service Ducks.